Are you serious? Are you serious? In Matthew chapter 26, this situation took place. In verse 14, we see the beginning of the betrayal of Jesus Christ. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priest and said unto them, What will you give me? And I will deliver him unto you. And they convened with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from the time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of the unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master saith, My time is at hand, and I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. And when the evening was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. And so right there we already know Judas has cut the deal for the betrayal. Jesus sits down to have the Passover meal and tells everybody someone's going to betray him. And everyone asks if it's them. And Judas, knowing it's him, still asks to see if Jesus knew if it was him or not. And of course, Jesus did. You would think after all the miracles that Judas witnessed and all of the times that Judas rebuked the Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes and rulers of the Jews and elders who had tried to trap him, that he wouldn't have tried this, but he did anyway. And Jesus told him that he was the one. Folks, people are betraying Jesus Christ right now. This was a different time. We understand. It was a time where Christ was going to the cross. We've all sinned and come short of the glory of God. There's none of us righteous. No, not one. And somebody was going to be the one that eventually would betray Jesus, and Christ would go to the cross. But that was the plan of God from the very beginning. That for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son in the world to condemn the world, but the world through him might be saved. Now he goes through the Passover meal with his disciples. It's known as the Last Supper, and we know it's just before the betrayal takes place and the apprehension of Christ. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been in Jerusalem to the high priest Caiaphas's dungeon, and when you go down there and realize that Christ was held there during that night, you just feel the unbelievable, overwhelming magnitude, I guess, of God's mercy and grace. Can I just say to you, the son of perdition was only mentioned twice in the Bible. Judas Iscariot is called the son of perdition in one of these Gospels when the devil enters into him. And the other one is the Antichrist. He is also called the son of perdition in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, the great betrayer, the great betrayal. And it's about to happen again. The Antichrist is about to rise on the world scene, but the betrayal of Christ has already begun. Christians are being slaughtered and murdered, raped and executed, crucified and beheaded. Christians are being mocked, being attacked verbally, physically, emotionally, socially, economically, right here in the U.S. of A. And I'm telling you now that the great betrayal of Christianity all over the world has already been done. The Antichrist is about to rise. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We are running out of time.